Joan Toe from J News is here. Make sure to use the like and subscribe buttons. And then let's go straight into the news. Okay, so we have Chrissy and Jim. Now, Vow or Never was their most recent show. It appears to be Jim Jones, huh? Oh, the entire thing is like, consider this. Jim Jones and Chrissy's initial collaboration with Mona Scott is credited with launching Love and Hip Hop, correct? They then had a major blow-up, which led to their leaving the show. Oh, and then he claims that he initiated that, but that it was his fault because he never claimed ownership of the concept or the show, you know? He sort of brainstormed it with her, but he never received credit for the show because he isn't a good businessman. He has a history of performing poorly in business. All right? Then he performed Jim and Chrissy's vow to never appear on another network. I was still cheated on that. And now that rap isn't working for Jim Jones anymore, he's attempting to go to Zeus and perform another concert. He is currently performing podcasting for that reason. Additionally, he is currently with his pod with the pod crew he established as he didn't want to do it himself. To oppose Max B, he is poisoning them all. Hey, Max B is coming home soon, he says. Don't mess with Max B if you mess with me. This also applies to Dave East, Fabulous, and Mayo. You must be faithful to him, which is absurd to be honest, because it seems like Jim Jones is the most disloyal person in history. As you might imagine, he's a major factor in both the reason Dipset broke up and the reason it became as popular as it did. A glue to mediate situations was something Dipset lacked. It was similar to high school, you know? You would see that everyone talked about each other, that no one mediated conflicts, and that no one was truly taking charge if you were inside and interacted with many Dipset members. It never really had someone who could, reason with Cameron and Jim Jones and make sure everyone is happy and stays together, Cameron was the biggest rapper. And Jim Jones briefly served as a leader before deciding to pursue rapping himself, because that's where the money is. But for you, that's some New York stuff. I will tell you the truth. Even 50 Cent was unable to keep everyone together, That's what occurred. Lloyd Banks was taken aback. At one point, Tony Yo even fell away. Don't believe that Tony Yo was the most devoted individual in history. He is. However, he was against 50 Cent at one time in 2013. Simply put, he refrained from publicly criticizing him in interviews. Behind the scenes, he let things sort themselves out. Additionally, Tony Yo is the person who has known him the longest and has the greatest leeway, It is what it is, then. Shaggy takes supplies to Jamaica with his private jet. As you may know, Sean Paul begins to raise more money for Jamaica. Spice is in charge of Jamaican affairs. These artists are contributing to the community. There has been no word from the Marleys. Vybz Kartel, who is earning millions of dollars on the road, hasn't gotten back to me. Additionally, you must support your nation, particularly in a place like Jamaica. Shaggy does express affection, even though I'm not into him in the traditional sense. However, a lot of things in Jamaica begin at home. People like this begin earning money from home. Talk about Vybz, Kartel, Spice, Sheena, etc. And then you start making large money once you leave the island and begin visiting other islands. The UK and other places like that? Indeed. However, it begins at home, and many of these individuals, including Sean Paul and everyone else, even Shaggy, seem to have spent the majority of their voyage in the United States. However, I appreciate that he is giving back. He's doing everything he can, He's loading it onto a jet and purchasing as much as he can. A private jet can only carry so much, and filling a container by sea would take a week to reach its destination. And I have no doubt that he is also attempting to. However, there are emergencies occurring in the meantime while a ship arrives. People need water, He's packing on all of this stuff, huh? That's fantastic. Then, due to his relationship with Epstein, Andrew will lose all of his remaining titles and be forced to leave royal palaces, according to a statement from Buckingham Palace. When Jim Jones says he would give him $1 million deal, Dame Dash responds, one neglected to bring up this particular aspect of it. He also struck Jay-Z's right-hand man, Lenny S., in the face, as we already discussed the other day, correct? You can see how much of a boss Dame Dash wasn't on all his interviews. He adds of Jay-Z. I had to get permission from Jay-Z. He says now, this person had to give me permission. You weren't a true boss then. Despite preaching about being a boss, he has never had a true position of authority. He managed projects more than anything else. He wasn't a true boss. The bosses call shots. The consent of another guy is not required of bosses. Dame Dash used these remarks against him. Yes, I see. Because he punched Lenny S in the face. Jay-Z would not have approved of that. A hothead was Jim Jones. Every day, Jim Jones deceives himself out of situations. Every day. Lil Wayne didn't appear to perform the verses, I guess. Turk tries to put this thing out there that Lil Wayne didn't show up because he wouldn't show up and everyone has to show up, Charlemagne remarks. That is untrue. Lil Wayne no longer gets along with Birdman, as you may believe. We've already decided that you know. We discussed this. Although he promised to show up, he never did. He canceled at the last minute, you know. Most likely due to his size. He is large enough to have his own verses to start. Secondly, there was a problem. It's likely that he was promised something that never materialized. It's likely that they had to airlift him in. He will not cover the cost of his own transport because he doesn't see the need to do so. He wasn't even given the money he was due by Birdman. Wayne would have paid for his own flight, wouldn't he? However, you behave differently after you come to the realization that these people don't have your best interests in mind. Just as you don't have theirs. And Turk continues to say that I'm the only one who will talk to Birdman about this. With him, no one else will be honest. I don't think you stand for anything, bro. BG put it best. All right? Listen, I don't mean to offend Turk, but he's the one you won't miss at a reunion. You want to see everyone in one place. Although I would prefer to have everyone together, his absence is not a huge concern. It doesn't breach the deal. It's not as if Lil Wayne's absence made no difference. But the war is lost by cash money. Snoop Dogg was only there for a year or two, even though No Limit had him. Let's be honest. It's Sean Paul here. I'm sure he's contributing his own funds because he has his own foundation and is, raising money for Jamaica. In order for that to occur, Drake formally reopens the case against Kendrick Lamar and files an appeal. A snitch witness for Lil Durk asserts that Durk bet on 6 distinct individuals, not just that one. Additionally, the same anonymous witness described suspected shootings and other misdeeds perpetrated by members. Okay? In his affidavit, David Benton, also known as King Bon, further revealed that CW1 was aware that defendant banks had placed further financial bonuses on 6 other people in addition to other members that the defendant banks were supporting. The affidavit also included important proof that supported CW1's story. SR's flight records associate was a confidential witness for one of the defendant banks. Thus, I'm not sure. Since it was like, we got them. They might not have cared about possessing all the text records. They might have them. I'm not sure. Discussion about calling Jay-Z FS, individuals were claiming that they couldn't think of 5 Jay-Z songs. Man, hurry up. Jay-Z has done something that you can't take away from him, you know? Well, it was a good point. Drake is the one that has the ability to take the stage and challenge Jay-Z. It's a fact. It's a fact. A fantastic versus would be Drake versus Jay-Z. They simply couldn't afford to pay these two enough. Why would they act in that way? What's the advantage? No advantages exist. These two are still in complete control. It seems as though you will never see that. This is amusing. Stop, urged Rick Ross's baby mama. I'm not sure. Rick Ross now has diamond veneers since he is buddies with his dentist. He replaced his old veneers with new ones after tearing them out. This man will soon lose his teeth. You can't continue to meddle with your gums like that, so he will be wearing dentures. Stop sending me those diamond-cut veneers, she says. She's witty. Observe.
He's sending me this video of this fat funky bitch with these diamond porcelains or something. That bitch need to go get his shit done every year if you ask me. Don't send me a motherfucking thing, because the Colombians ain't good snatching it up and out of my motherfucking mouth no more. They think they gonna maintenance these hoes and replace whatever I crack and break with a crab leg or a candy apple or some shit like that. Other than that, I ain't going to get all that new tech ass shit. I don't know that lab made shit. Shut up. Stop sending me shit with a fuck nigga mouth by the fuck nigga funky ass mouth. Nigga need that shit done every year. Shit, the fuck? Don't fucking play with me, alright? Stop sending me a bitch that I don't fuck with. That's another thing. Ho, if you send me any fuck nigga that's the ops, I'ma block your bitch ass.
Yo. Raw. She's raw, bro.
Raw. Yo, bro, she's raw. All I can say is that, hey, that thing with the diamond tooth is garbage. You should appear natural. You now merely have a robot-like appearance. Robotic mouth. Jordan Tower from JT News is here. Thanks to everybody. In the next one, I'll check in with you all. For me, hit the like button.com.